We'll begin in a few seconds.
All right, welcome Wellness Warriors. We're so glad you're able to join us here. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and introduce yourself. Take us some time to get to know the tools. This really is meant to be a community conversation. So we're really blessed today to have a guest presenter, and we're here kicking off the Unity Wellness Challenge. So as we start and we're having some more people join, we just want to get to know you a little better. So go ahead and find the chat box and let us know where you're watching. And if you're watching in a group, if you have a youth council and you're doing a watch party, let us know how many youth are with you, okay? So my name's Lauren Ashley Buford, and I have the privilege of working for United National Indian Tribal Youth. We're going to go over a couple of quick things just to let you know a little bit more about our organization. So Unity is one of the oldest and largest Native youth serving organization in the country. And it's at the foundation is really teaching about wellness and a holistic approach. So everything that Unity does is focused on these 4 pillars. So the spiritual, the mental, the physical, and social development of Native and First Nation youth. So we're really excited to have with us today a presenter that really focuses more on Indigenous approaches to wellness that can really help our network. So at the heart of our Unity network is our youth councils. So if you're ever interested in starting your own youth council or affiliating with our network, please feel free to contact me. I am the advisor liaison for Unity, so I can get you more information. Unity is ever growing. This year we saw a huge jump in brand new youth councils. We're now up to over 270. We're at like 274, and it's ever growing. We know that that's the real heart of our communities is those grassroots organizing on that level. Here's a slide that just kind of shows you what Wellness Warriors, the program, has been up to in the past year. As you can see, we have a free mobile app that we're going to talk about, and every year it's growing. We have over 1,000 downloads just in the last year. And I think it's really awesome to show this map. It shows where our different youth councils are, and we've actually updated this. It does include Oregon. There are a couple of other states like Maine who have actually grown in our 10 regions recently. We're really proud and thankful for everybody who's been able to attend our recent conferences. Just last year alone, we had 2,764 youth participants with their advisors and the advisor track go through our 2 signature events, the Mid-Year National Conference. So this just paints a picture of who we are, the Unity family. If you're a part of us, thank you and welcome. If you're not and you're a guest and you want more information about Unity, feel free to contact us. I'm really excited to let you know more about the Unity Wellness Challenge. Today is the day, and we're going to launch it. So I'd like to show you a little bit more. Here's a quick video that explains it in a little bit more detail.
Hey Wellness Warriors, so you may be wondering, how do you enter the Unity Wellness Challenge? You could drink more water, exercise more frequently, spend time with your family, or just hold the door open for someone. Be nice. These are all habits that you personally can track with the Unity Wellness Challenge. For each week, you post a photo or a video of your progress using the hashtag Unity Wellness Challenge by midnight every Wednesday. For each photo you post, that's considered 1 chance entered into a drawing. For each video you post, that's considered 2 chances entered into a drawing. If you upload a photo to the Wellness Warrior mobile app, you can earn 3 raffle entries. So stay tuned every Friday for the winners to be announced, leading up to the grand prize. And trust me, you're going to want this grand prize.
All right. So, like Lance said, our 25 under 25 awardee, I'm going to actually give you a sneak peek at what some of these prizes are. So, don't tell anybody. It's a secret. It's just between you and me. But we'll be releasing them every Friday over the next 3 weeks to see who is going to win these prize packs. So, what is the Wellness Warrior Challenge? Basically, we don't want to wait until New Year's to start our positive habits. As a Unity family, we challenge you to pick one positive habit that you want to change and track it over the next 3 weeks. So the reason why are we sharing on, on public, on social media? It's to encourage other Native youth. We need to encourage each other, especially during the holidays, that we can do this. And the more that you encourage others, and if they see you as a community leader making these positive changes, it's going to encourage other youth to do it. So right now, if you look in your handouts, there is the personal wellness plan. And so each of you have a copy of today's slides. You also have a copy of the personal wellness plan, and it looks something like this. And it's actually a paper copy of the challenge. So you can actually pick your goal. Say I want to drink more water. You write it down here. It gives you some tips on choosing your goal. And then you can actually track it over 3 weeks. You can put this on your refrigerator. You can put this next to your computer, put it in your car, somewhere you're going to see it every day to remind yourself, hey, this is the journey I'm on. And if you fall off, don't worry. You get right back up and you just keep going. So the idea, pick one habit, track it over the next 3 weeks, post a photo or video to social media of your progress, encouraging other people to participate using hashtag Unity Wellness Challenge. Okay, so the prizes each week, based on whoever used those posts, they're going to be entered into a raffle, and every Friday we're going to go live and give away the post. So the first week, third place is going to win a $25 gift card and limited edition Unity Skoden swag pack. So we've teamed up again with N7, Nike N7, and they're going to be limited edition. There's only like 30 of these total of the Skoden to really encourage each other, and you're going to get some swag. So might even throw in a fanny pack. We'll see. Week two is second place prize is the Skoden swag pack. It's limited edition. You'll get a little more, but you'll also receive a free registration to the upcoming mid-year conference in Scottsdale, Arizona for February. So again, those are a couple $100 registration. You get it free. You just got to get there, right? So last but not least, we're really excited. There's over $1,000 worth of prizes for our grand prize. If you're participating and you're posting photos of your videos of your progress, every time you post, there's another raffle throughout the next 3 weeks. First place prize, you will not only win a limited edition Unity Pendleton. We only have 100 of those left, and then there will never be another one, right? You will win also one free registration to the national conference in Orlando, Florida. You will also win an Apple Watch. Who doesn't want an Apple Watch, honestly? And then you will also get a pair of AirPods. So all courtesy from Unity and our sponsors with Kellogg Foundation, the WK Kellogg Foundation. We want to encourage our youth to be healthy and well. So Wellness Warriors, I know you can do it. It starts today. We already have some people posting. Use the hashtag Unity Wellness Challenge and be entered into this contest. So to learn more about wellness and how are we going to make these motivational changes and get in the right mindset, I have a very special guest that I'm so thrilled to present. It is none other than lead trainer Robert Johntson, my Choctaw brother. He is, I called him my Yoda. There's nothing in my mind that Robert can't do, and I'm ready with my pen to take notes. So come on in, Robert.
Slide it in.
Yes.
All right. So she calls you Yoda because of the green.
Yes.
I wear green. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Glad that you're here with us today. Real quick, there is the polls that you have on there. Do you have information on that? Of how do they do the polls?
Yes. So as soon as he pulls it up, it's going to go live, and then we want it to be interactive, right? So you tell us when, and we're going to pull up the first poll. What's the first one about?
Let's start with the first one. How did you hear about the webinar? So what you do is you select, and if you're in a group of people, talk it out, saying how did you hear about this webinar? And then put your selection in, and this way the information goes back to Unity so they can keep track of that. Number 2.
Oh, wait, 1 second.
Oh, 1 second.
Yeah. So this really helps us with letting us know how we're going to get the word out, and we're about to share the results with you. Go ahead.
So number 2 is.
Want to see the results?
Yeah, show the results.
Show the results. Yeah.
There we go.
Wow, look at that. So by social media.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone following each other on Instagram and, and Snapchat.
Nice.
Nice.
So what's the next one?
The next question.
If you said social media.
Which social media did you find out about it? Is it Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat? I know Josh is on Snapchat the most.
Which one are you on, Robert?
I do a lot of Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we have? Bam! Look at that, Facebook. Oh, nobody on Twitter or Snapchat, except, never mind. All right. And we're going to question number 3. Who's here? Who do we have on here? Do we have student, advisor, tribal leader, educator, or tribal community members? So who's all in attendance? Who's watching this today? And we're going to see our results. We just want to get an idea of who's watching us today and taking in this information. So we have, oh, look, we have a good different groups. We have 11% are students. We have a lot of advisors, educators, community members. I imagine the advisors are chiming in, but they have their youth with them watching this. Okay, we got one last poll. Lauren and Josh ain't too happy about this, but they're going to do it. Last one. In the Christmas spirit, which Christmas carol would you like us to sing? We got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Jingle Bells, Santa Claus is coming to town, and Frosty the Snowman. Go ahead, pick one out, and whichever one you guys pick at the end of this webinar, me and the Wellness Warrior staff over here, we're going to go off on this Christmas carol. We're going to put it out there. We're going to go crazy. All right, so we're about to find out. And the winner is Rudolph!
Yes.
Okay. So Josh, Google those lyrics.
Yes.
All right.
I'll do.
Okay. Well, I'm really glad of this opportunity to share. And so the New Year's revolution. One thing we want to do, how we want to start off though, let's do this. Why don't you find a partner, anyone that's in there, and if you're by yourself, then you can do this by yourself. But if you're in the room with other people, if you could find a partner, what I want you to do is just sit with this partner, and we're going to give you each 25 seconds to do this. And that is to talk about what you're thankful for. Okay, we're going to give you 25 seconds to talk about what you're thankful for. You know, just put it out there. Just what am I thankful for? All right, so we're going to start, and I'll go ahead, and I'm going to have this discussion over here with Lauren, so she magically goes out that way and comes back this way. So Lauren and Josh, you can time us and let us know when the 25 seconds are up. And do you want to start?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so things that I'm grateful for. I was thinking this morning how grateful I am to have a car. I was on Pit and Pat for a long time, all around the public transit, and I'm really grateful for transportation. I'm really grateful for my family, my mother, she is the heart and soul, and I'm really thankful for a song, the gift of song. I know we were silly about the Christmas carols, but you know, I looked up some research behind it, and it really does help a lot with your just your well-being.
Great. Is that?
That's 25.
All right, that was 25 seconds. Now switch partners, and the other person's going to talk. And go. So one thing that I'm thankful for an opportunity to be here to share. I'm thankful for opportunity to go and visit so many different people. I'm thankful for being able to use my body to exercise and to have a good time. And I actually played ball this weekend.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I'm still recovering, but it was fun. And I'm thankful for just having so much people in my circle who care about me.
awesome.
Yeah.
You have a big circle.
Yeah, it's a pretty big circle. It's I'm glad that circle covers most of the world.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So 25 seconds.
Yeah,
That's probably like 50 seconds.
that's 51.
We're looking for Josh. He was sipping on his QT cup over there. But one of the reasons we do that is part of what we're talking about today, because part of when we're saying New Year's resolution, and here's the thing, every New Year's we go through the same thing, right? We go through the same thing, and people saying, hey, I got a New Year's resolution, right? And what happens?
It lasts for about a week, maybe.
Lasts about a week. Well, you know, one of the reasons why it doesn't last that long is because when people think resolutions, they think of something of, okay, I'm going to stop doing this behavior, or I'm not going to do this anymore, or I'm giving up this. And what happens is when they break the resolution, then it's over.
Yeah.
So if someone says, okay, I'm going to stop, chewing bubble gum. All right, when they had the first bubble gum, oh, I messed up. It's over.
And then just forget about it.
I failed.
Yeah.
And then they go back to the regular behavior. Or, they think of themselves as a failure. Or, they look at themselves as giving up easily. So that's one of the issues when you say with the resolution, because what you're trying to do is come to an agreement with yourself. That's what a resolution is. But really what you're looking at isn't just an agreement. What you're looking at is a life goal change. Like, why would anyone want to make any type of change anyway?
Right.
And what is change? Change is actually, a revolution. If we look at, if we look at what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish, we're trying to accomplish a lifetime change. I mean, when we think about resolutions, we're thinking about things that are going to help us in the long run. We're going to benefit from that. It's going to help us enjoy life longer and probably better.
Good.
So instead of resolution, why not think it as a revolution?
I like that.
Evolving your mind and your thoughts, but also what revolution is talking about is about that shift that's coming. So it's a whole shift that involves, because it's not just saying a mind shift of saying, okay, I no longer want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole shift that has to come. And if you're successful, but here's the other thing, when you're successful at it, it's lifetime, because you're changing habits. You're changing habits, and the habits that you had in the past, you let go of, and you adapt new habits, and that becomes your new lifestyle, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's why we want to say New Year's revolution. But here's another thing too. We tend to think, okay, it goes along with the new year. So we're going to start on January 1st and da-da-da-da. That's right. Another thing. Anytime you put any type of limitation on it, you're setting yourself up for failure. So instead of saying a New Year's revolution or resolution, how about a new you revolution?
I like that.
Creating the new you,
Yes, yes.
One of my friends, Jillian Joseph, is always talking about life by design. So if you live in life by design, what you're really doing is you're creating a life that you want for yourself, but also you're taking responsibility for yourself. And that's the thing too, is that when we think of resolution, sometimes you think of the things that might hinder us. So if I say, okay, I'm going to give up smoking, and when I did hypnotherapy, people used to come to me a lot, I want to give up smoking.
Right.
And they would have all these reasons why they want to give, or why it's hard for them to give it up. And usually it's people around them. Well, when I'm around this person, they do this and they do this, and they influence me this, right? But what happens is that at some point you have to take responsibility for your own behavior. And whether that means putting yourself in the right circumstances or putting yourself around the right people, to make that happen. But if we're constantly putting it on other people, you're not really taking control of the situation, because you're giving yourself access to an excuse. Right. When you give yourself access to excuses, you're going to use them. Right. You're going to use them. It's your fault, or this work, or this, and this is keeping me from doing that. So when we're talking about the new you revolution, we're talking about what you focus on and where you put that focus. So one question I have for all of you out there is, what do you focus on? And because what we focus on really puts us in that direction. So, here's the thing about our habits and our behaviors. We don't get away from other habits and behaviors. we didn't pick up a new behavior because we were trying to get rid of this behavior.
Right.
We always move toward behaviors. We always move toward habits. We're constantly moving toward new habits, right? So that maybe that habit you don't want to have anymore, you didn't wake up and just have that
It's
habit.
just like, oh, now I have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And say and I know the one you were using about soda.
Right.
If you're someone who thinks I drink too much soda, you didn't give up water.
Yeah.
You didn't say, hey, I'm giving up water, so to do more soda. You didn't make that conscious choice.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is you moved toward it, and when you move toward it, then it becomes a habit. Well, it's just like in any type of movement, you're more likely to move toward something than you are to give up something.
Right.
Right. So part of that way and how we're thinking about what we're looking is, what are those that you really want to focus on? What are those habits and what are those things you really want to happen for yourself? So we're going to do a little exercise right now, and this helps us focus, all right? So everyone there, out there, you're going to do this exercise with us, okay? So, and by the way, who do we have out there? Let us know, chat us up, and if you have any questions anytime, please let us know. Joshua, let me know if your questions come in. But we're going to do a little activity right now, and this is how it works, all right? So I want you to take a look around the room, so take a good look around the room, and when we're going to focus on the color blue, I want you to look around the room and look at everything that you can find in your room that's the color blue. And look closely, it might be on over here, I see bottled water, I see a label there, I see a screen where I see the color blue. Maybe look at people's clothing, maybe look at pictures, maybe look at chairs at the carpet, maybe cables, and see if you can make a mental list of at least 5 things that are the color blue, a mental list of at least 5 things that are the color blue. A mental list. When I say a mental list is, don't say them out loud, just put them in your mind, see them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but again, don't say it out loud. And what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you to repeat 5 items in your mind in a bit with your eyes closed. So make sure you make a mental look, take another look around everywhere you can see that color blue. All right. Now, I want you to close your eyes, and with your eyes closed, and don't say it out loud. I want you to make a mental list of everything that you saw when you looked around the room, everything that you saw that was the color red. Don't open your eyes, but I want you to start making a mental list right now of everything that you saw that was the color red when you were looking around. All right? Now, see if you can come up with that. All right, some of you might come up with 5, some of you might only be able to come up with a couple, and some of you may not find any red at all in your mind right now as you search. All right, now go ahead and open your eyes and take a look around. And when you look around, notice how much red is really jumping out on you. And I'm sure there is even someone there watching this right now when they did this test thought, oh man, I can't think of anything red. And then you open your eyes and there's red all over the place. You might even be wearing red and didn't notice it. And why is that? Is because what your brain focused on, our brain goes in hyperfocus, right? Our brain goes into hyperfocus on things when we're really starting to think about things. It goes into hyperfocus, and what we're hyperfocusing on is the blue. And here's the thing, our brain also has a filtering system. So if you're focused on that blue, you're going to filter out that red, right? And when you filter out that red, it might be on you, it might be around you, but you're not going to see it because you're so hyperfocused on that blue. So if I were to say this, I'm going to give up soda. What's my focus? What's my focus? Soda, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get rid of soda. I'm not going to drink soda. And if I keep saying that, even the word soda, and I keep putting that out there, soda, 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 when I walk in the store, what do you think the first thing I notice?
Ooh, all the soda.
All the soda, right? Even I look at that cup, I wonder what kind of soda is there in Josh's cup over there, right?
It's Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. So we see the soda. That's how our brains work. And so what we have control over is what's called our thinking mind.
Okay.
Right? And what our thinking mind is, our thinking mind is everything that we can consciously see right now. It's also called our conscious mind. But our thinking mind is what we make decisions right now on, and when we start to think about things, or when people say, give us things, okay, what am I going to do? Or you're supposed to make a decision. Or we look at a plan over there, we try to think, what plan is that? That's using our thinking mind, and that's what we use, our thinking brain. That's what we use pretty much throughout the day. But here's the thing, as much as we think that we're using that thinking mind, we're only really using that thinking mind or that thinking brain about 15% of the day. Most of the time we're on this kind of autopilot mode, right?
Yeah.
But our thinking mind comes in when we start to think of some new situation. What are we supposed to do here? Or we see something we like and we think, okay. Now, that's why, when we go internet surfing or through our phones, we're looking, what are we really doing? We're not really utilizing our thinking brain, really. What we're utilizing is another type of brain, and that just keeps us going through the mode. Now, when we see something that catches our attention and makes us think, makes us try to figure it out, then we start to get that thinking brain going. But where the thinking brain lies is where our New Year's resolutions lie.
Right.
It's kind of like, okay, when someone asks us, what's your New Year's resolution? Oh, I think this year I'm gonna da-da-da-da. So we're thinking about it, right? We're putting it in place, we're putting it out there, and we're setting that up. Now there's really nowhere, we don't submit our resolutions for verification. We don't need approval.
Nobody's checking.
Exactly.
Right?
We don't need approval for our resolutions. These are just things that we say, so they always last in our thinking brain, and that's how our thinking brain works. The trouble is in our thinking brain is that ideas and experiences and situations don't last long there in the thinking brain, and what's called our conscious mind. Our brain is made to only hold information for a certain time, so it's not too overwhelming. And eventually it goes through and it filters out and gets rid of. And that's why your brain gets hyper-focused, because it wants to already be aware of what should we hold on to and what should we not really focus on right now. So again, going back to the blue test that we did, we missed all the red because our brain was hyper-focused, right? So our brain can get hyper-focused on some things, all right? And when our brain gets hyper-focused on it, we might miss those things. Now, that's not what motivation is. People think that's what motivation is when you're hyper-focused using your thinking brain. All thinking brain really is about the messages that you're taking in, right? The messages that you're taking in. It really doesn't have an effect on how you feel about it. It really doesn't have an effect on what you want to do about it or on habits. It's just the messages you're taking in. Eventually, though, it will start to have an effect. All right, but it has to be very, very, very consistent. So the old way is that you write down your resolution everywhere. You keep repeating it. You always stay with it. That's how some people do it. They find success at it. Well, it wasn't just the resolution itself. What it is, they're using a different technique, right, to allow that to happen. But mainly, if we're talking that we want real shift to happen, and then we have to look at another part of the brain, and that brain is called the motivational brain, right? And think about this. Here's one misconception. I'm sure you all heard this statement before, is people say, oh, they're not motivated to do anything.
Not motivated to action.
Yeah, that is a false statement, because all people have motivation to do anything that they do. It's all motivation. So if someone's sitting and someone doesn't want to go outside or run around or go play ball, or they just want to sit at home and eat, Cheetos and watch TV, they're motivated to do that.
Right. There is some motivation there.
If you say, hey, how come you're not going to school? You need to get motivated to go to college. And they say, I don't want to go to college. You say, well, you had no motivation. Yeah, they had no motivation. Their motivation is to not go to college.
To stay home and eat Cheetos.
Exactly.
Oh.
If that's what they choose to do.
That's your motivation, right?
But it's all motivated behavior. And what motivated behavior is it's the collection of experiences, and it's the collection of positive and negative times that you've had in your life. And that's what shapes your motivation, right? And it's in our unconscious brain, and unfortunately we don't have access to our unconscious brain as much as we would like to, nor would we want that control over our unconscious brain, because also in that same area is everything that happens with your body. Like your
breathing.
Yes, exactly.
I don't want to think about breathing. I just want to do it, right?
Exactly. And so, that's our motivational brain, or our unconscious brain, really works off of patterns. It loves patterns, to create patterns, and it looks to shift and stay into patterns. So that's when habits happen. They stay locked. It's because we get locked into these patterns. And so imagine, just like how we did that little test right there, Now, this is why it comes into play is because let's say our day is we're telling ourselves we're not strong enough, we're not smart enough, we're not good enough.
Not pretty, all those things, you're not enough.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing, how our brain works, we don't even have to hear someone else say it. If we think it, it's just as powerful as if someone's saying it to us.
Yeah.
That's how our unconscious brain works. All we have to do, because when someone says something to us, it has to go through that processing unit anyway. And our processing unit works off of visuals. So even if we're imagining ourselves saying it and that voice comes out saying it, there's a visual attached to it. So as long as there's a visual that comes up, our motivational brain or our unconscious brain thinks it's really happening. Which is why when you ever watch a sad movie
Yes.
and you start crying at the sad movie
You're all,
because you think
that's
it's
me.
real,
Yeah,
meanwhile
yeah.
it's people reading a script.
Yeah.
Why? It's because it's creating an image for you, and that image, how your brain receives it, it thinks it's real. It's really happening.
So for your body, it experiences it like it was happening.
Yeah.
In real life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So and it fits your pattern of emotional patterns. Like if you watch a movie and it fits your emotional patterns, then you're going to express yourself in those patterns. Right? Just like there's some things that you would find funny that I would find funny. Now, if there was a movie that you found funny and you laugh, you ever do that when you're
Yes,
laughing?
I'm the only one laughing.
And people are
yes.
looking at you
Yes.
like, what? It's not even funny.
I guess she's funny, yeah.
That happens to me all the time,
Okay.
even with my own jokes.
Yeah. I laugh at my own jokes.
And you think, how come no one else is laughing? That's pretty funny. It's because it's in your own pattern, right? It's in your own pattern. Now, when something fits in your pattern, it fits really well. It fits really well. And that's why it's often hard to change some of those things, because what becomes our pattern behavior, right? So here's one thing that becomes part of our pattern behavior is when, say, if someone's trying to lose weight, they have this thing they call cheat day. Oh, today's my cheat day. Now, some people would never think to even have a cheat day, right? But some people say, no, it's my cheat day. Today I can have what I really want. Okay. So they're not really, in a way, changing that behavior. They're still giving them access to that behavior. But, you also have to look at, but in the long run, if they've shifted enough to see that this is out of the norm, that's fine. That's fine. But when
so it's all about patterns?
Yeah.
Like if it's shifted enough.
If the pattern has shifted, and then they can afford these cheat days. But after a week and they're trying to have cheat days.
3 days in. Oh, it's a cheat day. I get one this week.
It's not out of pattern. The cheat day is their pattern, right?
Yeah.
The cheat day is their pattern, right?
That's a good.
And that's when it becomes the problem, So how long does it take? Well, generally with consistency, you could change habits in about 3 weeks. Sometimes when people say it's really intense, sometimes they say the key thing is 90 days. But, a safe place is 3 to 4 weeks to get used to that pattern. And I would say as far as emotional patterns, might it take up to about 12 weeks. Because the emotional patterns play a part of it too. Because once your emotional patterns have shifted to match your mental patterns and your thinking patterns, then you've pretty much shifted into a new lifestyle. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So would it have to do with how you're feeling, like the triggers? Or?
Yes. Because here's the thing too, when we're also trying to adapt to new patterns, is that, and you said it right there, the triggers. What's also associated with certain things and habits that we do are trigger situations. So what happens with trigger situations, it creates an emotion, and emotion is often attached to a behavior, right? So every time I hear this, I feel like this, right? And here's the thing, when people came to me for hypnosis, we didn't hypnotize them to take on a new behavior. What our attempt to do was try to find where they were already hypnotized.
Oh.
So when people say with smoking, it's like, well, when do you smoke? Well, I feel like I got to smoke after I have a meal, right? So the hypnosis part of it was to go in and find that link of why they feel that they have to do that.
Like the emotional attachment to whatever habit or pattern it was.
Exactly.
Okay.
And through hypnosis, what we are trying to do is shift it to a different behavior.
Right.
So it's not really even that part, what we say that hypnotize is already there. We're just trying to shift it and into something that's healthier for them. And again, it has to be accepted emotionally as well, right? Emotionally well. So when we're making major changes in our life, emotion plays a big part of it. That's why it's always holistic. Any change that we want is holistic. We tend to focus on, okay, I'm going to come up with a New Year's resolution, state what I want, and then do the behavior. That's not holistic. That's just two parts. That's just your mental and your physical. But if we're going to start to look at everything, how everything plays a part of it. Now, the spiritual part of it is your connection, how you connect. And that's why you say what lifestyles truly were. Lifestyles were based on value systems, which was a part of that spiritual connection, or that social connection was based on value systems. And those value systems were intact. And here's the thing about value systems, they didn't shift. Our ancestors, they didn't shift, they didn't change. They didn't adapt to meet the needs of this or that. It was a strict value system. And it's something that, we don't see as much today because we're willing to change value system for acceptance.
And belonging.
Exactly.
If I feel like I belong, I'll shift my values.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So when those take a big part of it. So when we're saying that we want to involve culture into how we would do these things, what we're really looking at is how can we use culture and images of culture. And that's a big part of it too. It's just images of culture helps because if we know that this is how the brain works, why not use it to our benefit? So how do you feel when you walk into a teepee?
It makes you feel warm. Like it makes you feel like safe.
Yeah. And it settles you, right?
Yeah.
And there's links going on up here that when you step in there, it helps you, it builds you. And so part of it is visualizing those areas right there, visualizing teepees in your brain, right? And when you see people, I know people who are positive thinkers and positive people. If you walk in their office, and a lot of native offices, you're going to see native stuff all around.
How do we bedazzle our workplace?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or if you look on their screens or their computer screens or their phone screens, you'll have those images there because it works for them,
Right.
and it's a reminder of the strength that there's already in them. And that's another thing too, is that going back to that focus on what we focus on. If we focus on our strengths, then we are more able to make life changes because our ancestors were positive thinkers who focus on strengths. They gave us these ended names to remind us that we're powerful spirits, right? And now we have ended nicknames, but that's different.
Yeah. Not your cousin's name. No. Your real strengths, right?
Not those mean nicknames. But we're talking the ended names, the tribal names that we're given through ceremony
Or earned.
Yes,
Earned.
to earn, that lift your spirit when you hear them, because we call them today positive affirmations.
Right.
But that's what we use to help build that spirit, because we knew that if we were strong, we could stay to a value system, but also too, we could adapt, and adapting using a value system. So not shifting our values to adapt, but say adapt to a different lifestyle, or not even a lifestyle, but different situation, because we know our people struggle through weather, so through seasons. They struggle through colonization. They struggle through a lot of things, but also really struggle to hold on to a value system, right? And when you have a loss of value system, which our people went through, you're going to have a loss of behaviors. You're going to have a loss of emotional control, and what they call even today emotional intelligence. So it's building all that back up, and where it starts is even with the most primal value system of our people, which is being thankful.
Gratitude.
Right? Yes, exactly. So, one thing that helps with that, and, positive people I know in my life, like I mentioned, my friend Joseph, she is a very positive person, but this is something that she does, and this is something all of you can do, and that is this. Every day, what's 20 things that you're grateful for, right? 20 things that you're grateful for. All right. For time, we're going to do 10, and I'm going to have Lauren right here do it for us. So 10 things that you're thankful for.
10 things I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
I'm grateful I'm grateful for art. I'm grateful for expression. I'm grateful for prayer. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for my brother. I'm grateful to be an auntie. I'm grateful for my tribe, to be being born Native. I'm grateful for, my church family, my support systems. Is that 10?
That's 10.
Oh, that was harder than I thought. I'm so,
Yeah.
I got this. No big deal. And then I'm like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Started naming all my nieces and nephews by name.
Yeah. And you know, when you go up to 20, yeah, it gets a little bit more difficult the first time. This is your first time, it's pretty good. And you know what? If you find yourself the first time saying, I'm grateful for this chair, for this ball, that's fine.
I agree.
That's
This
fine.
table, the man who made this pen.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine for the first day or so or whatever, but what happens eventually is that you become used to it. You start patterning your thinking.
Right.
And when it's patterning your thinking, it's patterning your emotion. Now imagine a person who has spent 90 days every day talking about what they're thankful for. If they walk outside and saw weather, saw rain coming down, what do you think the reaction would be?
Oh, the gratitude. Look at these beautiful rain clouds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As opposed to someone who's maybe their focus every day is nothing ever goes my way. Nothing ever goes my way.
I just washed my car. Now look, it's raining.
Yeah. So that's where you see it, where it plays an effect. And that's just a simple tool. It's something that we all have access to, of just trying to change those belief systems and putting ourselves in that way. Because, one thing too is that in order to want a new you got to be good with the old you too. Because it's the old you that's going to access the new you. Right? It's the old you that's going to access the new you. So you have to be pretty good and strong about that. But we just got a few minutes left. Just one more thing too, and we put it in words right here, putting this out, is so when you mentioned about the soda. So I actually went through that, and one of the things that I discovered about it was what helped me was traditional teachings. Because one thing I realized is that when we're talking about soda and we're focusing on soda, you're going to drink soda.
Right. You know? I'm going to crave it. I'm going to want it.
Yeah. Even when you try to put rules on it, what you're doing is you're intensifying that. And that when I went, I think a month, and the day I said, I've been good. I'm going to have that soda.
That was it.
Crazy after that. Yeah. I was like on a crazy tear of soda after that. And we're talking drinking a lot of soda. I drank a lot. The big old, I could probably down 2 liters a day.
Oh my God.
The that's super crazy. Big old soda.
Yeah.
In Arizona, you get
the refills and everything.
Yeah. And I just couldn't imagine life without soda.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that happened is that I started hearing teachings about water and about how water is our first medicines. And even being challenged in my thought processes, what if Creator's instructions for us were in that water? As you think about it, when we're in the womb, we're around that water, right?
Yeah.
And I imagine a scene from the first Superman movie, when he's flying in that pod and he's giving all his life instructions surrounding him. For Superman, he was in that womb.
Yeah.
And I thought about that. I was like, that makes a lot of sense because that's our connection with Creator by always drinking water. And that's also our filtering system, and that's also our cleansing system. So it made a lot of sense why our ancestors would think that way. I mean, you think about it, it's very brilliant thinking.
Really
brilliant thinking.
It's deeper.
Exactly. And if those were Creator's instructions for our body, and because we think instructions are for us up here, but what if they're instructions for our body? What if in that water is that instructions for our body to take care of ourselves? What are those instructions for in medicine for our body to heal itself? But what if those instructions are being blocked by the fructose,
corn syrup,
all that stuff? And that
we can't hear Creator.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so, the other part we think about when we sit down for meals were ceremonial. They were medicine time. And so I started to apply this knowledge is I want to have water at every meal because I want it to be a good meal. I want it to be medicine, and I want to talk to that water. I want to share some things with that water. And I started to do that. And when I did that, and a shift happened, and it wasn't a conscious shift. It wasn't, kind of give myself 6 months, whatever. It was just wanting to do that, wanting to have that medicine with me and drink it more and have more of that medicine, have more of that instruction, have more of that cleansing. And it came to a point when we went and I met a friend. He ordered me a Dr. Pepper, right? And I said, oh, no, I just want water. And he said, well, you always drink Dr. Pepper. No, I'm drinking water now. And so, how long have you been bad? My first response was going to be, oh, like a couple weeks. And then I stopped thinking. And at that point, it had already been 2 months.
Oh, my goodness.
But I had never even thought about it. It wasn't even a goal of mine to stop drinking soda. I just realized that's how long it's been because I had been drinking water so much. So you have that tie in, and that's, again, an example of moving towards something.
Right.
Right? When you start to put in teachings of why, because one of the problems that we have is that when we start to think things like, oh, I want to lose weight or I want to do this, is that that's not really your goal. Really? It's not really a goal. You know, your goal's over here, you're over here. Well, in order to get to here, you have to go through this.
Right.
Right? And here's what people are fearful of.
Right.
This is what people don't want to do. This is the treadmill. This is eating healthy, whatever. So why not make this your goal? Why not focus on this and put your desires into this and let this be the benefit of those desires?
Like the celebration.
Exactly. So where you start with that then is looking at, well, what are those foods that are there? And even if I'm not eating them right now, I can be thankful for them.
Oh.
Right?
Right.
And when I see that I have access to a gym or I have access to a fitness center, even though I might not be over there using it, why not be thankful? And why not every day think about what I want to do, be thankful for my body, and spend more time doing things like that. And what happens eventually is you start to train your brain to desire those things. And when you put your desires right there, all right, then it gives you access to what it is that you want.
And do you find that in the way we talk about things too? Like we joke around like, oh, I have to go to the gym. Oh, I have to. Well, would it then change the way you talk about them?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's, it has that shift because what this is really pain. This is really fear. And what you're doing is you're moving past that pain and fear. When you're not afraid of something, you talk openly about it, right? Yes. And so you're removing that pain or fear, right? And sometimes that fear is that we can't do it. But when we put our focus in seeing ourselves and then those steps even do with envisioning ourselves doing those behaviors, doing those things that, we want that, are going to be good for us. Why wait till now? Because here's the other part that's kind of crazy thing is like, I want to lose weight so I can be healthy, right? But you can be healthy right now. You can be healthy right now.
Today. I can be healthy today.
Yeah. You can start right now and let this be one of the benefits of it, right? So that's where we start to switch it around,
right? So
that we can achieve those goals and make it happen. Just envisioning it. But
questions?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions that have come up?
We would really like to hear from you guys, even if you have any like traditional teachings. He mentioned it's Christmas. These are value systems right now. Be joyful, be thankful. We want to hear you guys. We want to hear from you. So find the chat box, and when you type it in there, it sends it to everyone on the different your value systems. What is something that you share with a group? Take a healthy risk. So one place that people can share is our free Wellness Warrior app.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's also talking about, you mentioned appreciating foods. Even if you can't, I uploaded, my traditional meal was an alligator, right? I'm from Florida. That's one of our traditional meals that we really pride ourselves on, and we tease each other. Even though I don't have an alligator in the middle of Phoenix, Arizona, I can still learn how to prepare it. I can still, appreciate those traditional foods. On our, you can download our Wellness Warrior mobile app. It's free, and it's available on both Android and Apple users. So you can look it up. Just search Unity Wellness Warriors. We want you to share around the virtual Unity fire. So you can upload a picture of your water and be like, hey, I'm talking to water, including that. You could upload photos or even the word for water. What is your traditional language? You can share that around the fire. We know a lot of our language carries a lot of power with wellness. And then there's a section to look up recipes, traditional foods. So everything that you see on the app, it is shared by other Native youth in the Unity family. So it's really powerful stuff.
We we do have a question.
Okay.
It's from Shalene Joseph. What shoes are you rocking with that Christmas sweater?
What shoes am I
I want
wearing?
to see it. How are you going to show them? Like
Like
let's
this.
see. Okay, ready?
I'm
Go for
wearing
it.
my Chucks today. My beaded Chucks.
They got arrows on them.
Dang. I think that's the best question we've had at a webinar.
Has it?
Serious, yes.
I see
And
you
it
still got
matches.
the sticker on too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so you know that it's extra small.
There you go. Extra small. Extra small sticker.
Any other
Great
questions?
questions. What else?
I do have a comment more than it is the question from I believe it's Michelle. It says thank you for your teachings on triggers,
Mhm.
which is great. And those that are on, Rosemary Riano from Kewa, New Mexico.
Hey.
And Leona Starr just says hi. She is from Tana Chiefs.
Oh,
and
hi,
she,
Leona.
yeah, she's from Hasilia, Alaska.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I probably mispronounced that. Sorry.
All right.
But if we have any more questions, now's the time. And then in the meantime, save the dates as we approach the end of our webinar.
Yeah?
Yeah. And we got a song.
No.
Oh.
I thought we just talked about unity. Like, forget about all of that. As they prepare, I'll let you know about the save the dates. You want to go to the next one? Let's see.
The save the dates.
So, Unity would like to invite all of you to participate. There is an adult track. We have a lot of adult watchers here for both mid-year and nationals.
Okay.
Mid-year is really exciting because we're going to be focusing on creating a Wellness Warrior advocacy plan. A lot of youth we've seen, they've been really active in doing grassroots community organizing, but we want to give our youth the tools to take it to the next level. How do we become an advocate? How do we engage in policy change? So mid-year is actually a little different than the national because it will go through a structured curriculum, and everybody who participates in mid-year will walk away with their own personal advocacy plan. And our lead trainers will, give us examples of these different advocacy plans and social justice, environmental studies, all of these things. And then who cannot forget about our nationals? It's going to come really quick. So I do want to let people know our registrations will be opening in January. Catch the early bird rate. We know Orlando, Florida might be a little far for some of our West Coast people. I'm so excited about our East Coast tribes stepping up and really participating. You got to have a lot of wonderful things as you come to the Southeast, which is my favorite region, right? But look out for those. As soon as registration opens in January, that's the lowest rate it'll be besides our previous ones. You can reserve your hotel rooms now. So all of this information is found on unityinc.org.
Awesome.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
I'll be at mid-year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
One
Okay.
last question was, will there be any cool Wellness Warrior activities at mid-year?
Always. If you have any suggestions of a cool Wellness Warrior activity you want to see at mid-year, let us know, and we can make it happen.
All right.
Do you want to tell them about the chair volleyball? One Wellness, they asked about mid-year things we're trying to get together.
Oh, yeah. My mom's going to be coming in, and she's going to be doing some exercise classes, so that'll be pretty fun.
Yes. So it incorporates the others. Okay, so here we go.
We'll end it with this.
All right. Are you guys ready to get in here, Josh? Have you guys seen Josh yet?
No.
I'm the
Okay.
co-pilot.
Oh,
Hello, everybody.
He's the bass.
So
I'm ready to sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for you. All right.
They're going to sing.
1, 2, 3, 4. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose.
Oh, and if you ever, what is it? Oh, like a light bulb. Sorry.
You would even say it glows.
Like a light bulb.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
that was
Like something.
too
Like
crazy.
the iPhone. Ooh, you like that one.
Okay.
And all the other
All of the
The
other
other
reindeers
Used to laugh and call him names.
like Pinocchio.
Say never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer
games.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, what Won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him
as they shouted out with glee. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history like trauma.
Yay! Thank you guys so much for joining us. This
Merry
has been
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Stay healthy, stay well.
Be safe
Be safe
Backwards.
and stay hydrated.
and stay hydrated. Take the Unity Wellness Warrior Challenge.
Take care. Bye.